Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to krabsfx. Today we're doing some backtesting on nasdaq. This is day 6 of the backtesting logs journey here. Today we're going to be doing 3 trades on nasdaq, and we just started a new journal for nasdaq right now. In this data, we're backtesting January 2023, so we're gathering data on this strategy I have from 2023, and we're going to be doing it for the whole year on eventually both US 30 and NASDAQ only on those indices. Alright, so right here we're starting off on January 3rd because on January 2nd the market was definitely closed. After New Year's, the banks are off of work. Everyone's off of work in the finance industry, so you're not going to be trading on this type of day. I think market wasn't even open early. If you look at the dates right now, it's the 30th, January 2nd. Yeah, we didn't even get our session on January 2nd. So market was only open for a few hours and it closed. But you're not going to be trading on days like those, so it doesn't matter. So we're starting this data fresh on the 3rd of 2023. Alright, so let's hop right into the charts. Right here, I marked out, first off, these horizontal lines. These are my time markers. Time and price are the most important things in my strategy. I only enter after 9:30 a.m., which is New York Stock Exchange open, until 10:30 a.m. So that's that. Right here, we marked out 9 a.m., which is 9:30 a.m. We marked out midnight, and the day before is midnight. So all this data in here is the previous day's data, which it was a weird day, so it's not the best data to have, but we still mark it out anyway. We mark out previous day's highs, previous day's lows, and I'm going to mark up Asia session range, highs and lows. So right here we got the Asia low. Asia session is from 1800 to midnight, so this would be the Asia high as well as the previous day's high. And above these old highs and lows sits liquidity, sits orders. So like right here, you have orders sitting here, people's stop losses sit here, and they're just high probability areas to get reactions off of due to big money having their orders in these areas, and people's retail stop losses get hit around these old highs and lows. So like right here, for example, at 4 a.m., that's another high probability time. London session open, 3 to 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you could see here, we had a move down after this previous day's high. Liquidity was swept. If the same move happened during my session at 9:30 a.m., I would definitely take the same exact trade. But this didn't happen during my time, so it doesn't matter. We're going to move on to our time right here, 9 a.m. And what we're going to do first is we're going to hop on this daily time frame, and we're going to determine our bias for the day. Daily candles are closing bearish previously, but the one that matters the most is the previous day's candle and the one before it, but mostly the previous day's candle. And they're both bullish, so I'm going to mark that up right here. Daily candle. Previous daily candle closed bullish, and now we're gonna hop on the 4-hour time frame and see what that candle closed. So we closed bearish on the 4-hour, but I believe if we skip to my 9 a.m., I think that's when the 4-hour candle closure is. So let me skip exactly to my 9:30 a.m. time just so that we're accurate with this bias. So now skip exactly to 9:30. We're just gonna, now let's see. So 4-hour candle closed bearish here. So we're gonna write that out. So our bias here is mixed bullish. Why is it mixed bullish? Because the previous daily candle closed bullish, which is the more powerful candle, the highest time frame that we're looking at. Sometimes I look at weekly, but only about once a week. So yeah, 4 hours bearish, meaning this is another confluence, meaning that sells could also make sense in this session, but ideally I want to look for buys based on that daily closure, because if you have one daily candle closing bullish, you're predicting or expecting there's probabilities that the next candle will also close bullish. Like, look at it in past data. We got a bearish candle on the daily, boom, another daily bearish candle. It doesn't happen all the time. Like right here, we had a bullish close and then price couldn't push up more, but most of the time, like even look right here, bullish candle, we're expecting the next day to also be bullish. Bearish daily candle, boom, next candle was also bearish, having a downtrend day. So now that we have our bias here, we're gonna hop on back to the daily time frame, and now we're gonna mark up any fair value gaps in price. It doesn't look like there's any here, so that's not an issue. We're gonna hop on the 4 hour and do the same thing. We're going to be marking out our fair value gaps. It looks like this one got filled right here, so that's not a gap. Yeah, I don't see any fair value gaps in price. I mean, all the way down here, but yeah, that's way too far from price to even look at. Yeah, that's not something we gotta look at. But let's see up here. Looks like we got a 4 hour gap right here. I'm gonna mark this out. So we got some up here which are far away from price, but you never know. Just better safe to have them marked up. So we got these gaps. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing on the 1 hour time frame. Mark out any fair value gaps. That one's not a gap. Looks like we don't have much here. 1 hour fair value gap. Let's mark this out. And there's no major gaps here at all. Up here we do have a 1 hour fair value gap. And right here as well. I do not like the size of these gaps, so we're most likely not going to be using them unless we take a short from up here to continue down, which could be a possibility. But because I do not want to wait until that gets filled, that is way too late. So that's an opportunity right there. But I do not like the size of these gaps at all. Honestly, it's pretty risky, I'm not gonna lie, for sells. But let's see where buys would make sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of this because our bias is mixed bullish. So ideally at 9:30 a.m. I want to see price tap into this 1 hour fair value gap, and then we can target these highs up here maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this line because that's just there to mark time for me. So I'm gonna hop on the 30-minute. Look at the time, it's exactly 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is my high probability time for these setups to play out. So let's see what we could get here. We're gonna watch price. I mean, we're gonna leave the counter trend option open because we have the previous 4 hour candle closing bearish. So sells could make sense. We're just gonna see how price plays out here first. Right now we do not have a setup. So we're just gonna watch here. This could possibly be a no trade day as well, and that's okay. Because this gap is counter trend, but it looks like that's our only opportunity. We may have to take it. So let's see if we could tap into that 1 hour gap. Go for sells from there. Because we do have the 4 hour bearish, so sells could make sense, and price is pushing up like this. I mean, let's see the 1 hour. Yeah, we could see a nice reaction off this 1 hour gap being tapped into. And we also have equal highs up here on the 1 hour. I'm gonna mark that up. Equal highs are basically just highs that are in the same area, meaning liquidity's above them. So I'm gonna just mark that up. Equal highs liquidity. That's just something to keep in mind. Just another confluence if we tap into this 1 hour gap. But let's see if we could tap in. Then I'll take my shorts. Yeah, it looked like we did not tap into it, but look at these equal highs. Looks like liquidity was grabbed from there, and there was a reaction down. That was actually pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie, but we wanted this 1 hour gap tapped into because that is in our plan. These equal highs I marked up it was just another confluence. But look at that, liquidity was grabbed and price reacted. Let's see if we want to tap back into this gap, or let's see what's going to happen at 10 a.m. now. See what we're going to do, we're going to speed this up a little bit. So we're not watching the 1 tick chart, which is kind of crazy. Speed this. Alright, so it looks like we could get our entry for down here. Oh, I did actually miss this. We have a 1 hour gap right here, which I missed. I did mark up. But it's no issue because price isn't even there yet. Yeah, this is the 1 hour gap that we could see a reaction off of to continue down if we tap into it. But let's see here if we get our entry or not. Then we could target this 1 hour gap up here as well. So let's see how this plays out. Alright, so we tapped into our gap. Buys mixed bullish. We have daily closing bullish. 4 hours bearish, unfortunately. But we're going to see if we could get some rejection here so that we have entry confirmations. I would like some type of rejection, some type of wicking in this area now. Because if it wants to come down to this 1 hour gap as well and fill that too, then that could be an even better entry. I don't want to enter too early without getting rejections off of this zone right now. So I'm just going to mark entry confirmations. 1 being time. Time is 9:30 a.m. which is in my trading window. In my data here, you see my trading window, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. This is a high probability time of high volume due to the USA market opening during that time at 9:30 a.m. So time is a confluence. Then we have bias, daily, bullish, following bias. That's very important to follow your bias, especially on the daily time frame. Number 3, we have 1 hour fair value gap filled. And 4th is rejection. We're gonna wait on our rejection, see if we get it, because we easily, let me just mark this up better. Price could easily come into this area and just invalidate this 1 hour gap and fill this 1 hour gap. So to prevent any drawdown, I'm going to look to enter at these gaps unless we get a reaction off of these gaps and price starts to wick around this area. And I'm going to be watching this on the 1 hour chart, or not 1 hour, on the 1 second, like tick by tick on the 1 hour time frame. So let's see if we get rejections. And this is the good thing about Pip-Labs. You can play this candle tick by tick So if we start rejecting right now, I'm gonna look to take my buys. Yeah, that's all I needed to see. I'm gonna hop into this right now. I just didn't want to see these 1 hour gaps, or this 1 hour fair value gap, get totally disrespected and price ran down to this one and fill this one, because I wouldn't want to hold a lot of drawdown without having this extra confirmation of rejection, which I'll mark down right there. But yeah, now we're gonna target a 1 to 2, which the target is realistically these highs up here again in this 1 hour fair value gap. It was nice to see these equal highs get swept like that though. That was a pretty nice prediction, but equal highs are not in my playbook, so I wouldn't take a trade off of that to bring it down. We only have 2 setups, and that's all that we need. Well, these are basically the same, but false breakout for value gap fills. So I just got off track there. I'm about to put in this order to see this 50-point stop is a little bit wide. On NAS, I like more of a 30-point stop or a 40. Yeah, on here, maybe a 40-point stop would be better. A little bit wider below this 1 hour gap, because it does make sense if price wants to fill this 1 hour gap as well. So actually, we're just gonna go with what we always go, 30-point stoppers. So we're gonna put that in because we don't want our data having different stop loss sizes, so that we use the same lots every time. I don't have lots on here, but yeah, we're gonna be using the 30-point stop here. It is a little bit tighter, I'm not gonna lie, because we could want to see this 1 hour gap get filled, but that is all good. I'm gonna target our 1 to 2 here. We're gonna input this order by market. Boom. Now let's watch how this plays out. Got that risky tighter stop on here. Hopefully price doesn't want to fill this 1 hour gap. Boom, we're out. But if price starts to reject here, yeah, that's not something I wanted to see, but it is all good. We're gonna copy this link and throw this into our journal. Let's see if a 50-point stop would have played out, or 40. 40 still would have been in. But I don't like this closure. I was about to say I could look for a re-entry off of this 1 hour gap, but it closed like that, and now this 1 hour candle has no bottom wick as well. With no bottom wick, price could wick around here, wick around, maybe push more, manipulate price, and then flip and make that bottom wick here, which I do not want to be caught in. Taking a re-entry right now, so most likely this is just going to be a minus 1% day, but that's all good. This is why we gather data. We're going to throw in our confirmations here. Throw these in right here. Or our setup for value gap fill stop 30 points. I like 30 points on NAS. Actually, we might be using like bigger stops now on NAS because 30 was a bit tight, I'm not gonna lie. In my rules, I say I can have, it's realistically a 30, 50 point stop loss. So maybe using bigger stops is what we could need. We're gonna watch how this plays out in a second, but let's just input all this. So 9:30 a.m. Let's just make sure. Yeah, this was 9:30 a.m. This huge candle. Holy. That was a nice push at 9:30 a.m. This would have been the ideal entry up here, these equal highs, but we did not tap into my 1 hour gap here, unfortunately. So we ate an L, we got cooked. But that's all good. Bias, mixed bullish, we followed the bias. We went long. Minus 1% on the account, points. Minus 30 points. I'm gonna mark this up here. Day of the week, this was a Tuesday. Yeah, Monday, second, Tuesday. Yeah, that looks good. RR, we didn't have any because we lost. So, yeah, that's the trade. Let's just watch it play out now. Let's see if a 50-point stop would have done me better here or not. A 50-point stop will be somewhere around here. So I just want to watch it play out a little bit lower. Let's see if this 50-point stop will get hit or not, or if we just have a reaction off this 1 hour gap to bring price up. Let's just see. Because no bottom wick, I don't like that. It could easily flip. Yep. Boom. Exactly what I just went over before. Price went to make that top wick. Because it had no bottom wick, it pushed with no bottom wick. It retested this 1 hour gap. And boom, it made the bottom wick. So let's see now. We have the bottom wick. Let's see if we can continue price up off this 1 hour gap or not being filled. I'm going to speed this up by 30 seconds. I just want to see if the 50-point stop would have saved us or not. Yeah, so that would get stopped out as well. Yeah, so stop loss size on this was not the issue. Asia low is being swept right here. Actually, a re-entry off of here could make sense, but it's 10 a.m. Let's see exactly what time. Yeah, it's exactly 10 a.m. We could look for a re-entry here. But price is pretty bearish, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what we got. Still bullish on the daily though. But overall, we're in a daily downtrend, so it would make sense for price to continue down. But we're gonna grab our re-entry here. I kind of like this, I'm not gonna lie. So, because we have that daily being bullish. So what this is, it's a false breakout setup of the Asia session low. So let's see if re-entry here. I'm gonna go with 30-point stops again. We already got some rejection below this Asia low. Let's see if we could quickly grab our 1 to 2 and get out of there. So I'm gonna enter in these confirmations now. Entry 2. Entry 1. Time. Entry 2 is 10 a.m. Bias, daily's bullish, following bias. This is a false break, Asia low. We had rejection as well, so let's just see if this plays out or not, or if price wants to continue bearish on NASDAQ. But this is a nice setup for me, I'm not gonna lie. So the re-entry opportunity does make sense. It is still in my time frame of 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. But let's see how this plays out. If it gets stopped out, that is all good. I'm just gonna call it a day there for this data, because after 2% loss, you really don't want to take more trades than that. But let's see if this plays out here. Nice reaction there. Looks like we got very bearish momentum. But let's see if we could survive. We're rejecting here. Oh, looks like we had this 1 hour gap I did not mark up. That's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna. But we basically filled that as well. So that's another confluence that we should continue up because we filled this fair value gap now. About 99% if you zoom in here. Literally about 99% filled. Exactly, if you look at it like that. It didn't get tapped into fully, but price definitely rejected off of it. But let's see if we could get our 1-to-1 RR here and then move our stop loss to break even so that we're risk free. Let's see. Price is kind of crazy right now. Boom, we hit our 1-to-1 RR. We're going to move stops to break even now. I like to move my stop loss to break even at 1-to-1. It's part of my management plan and my strategy I got right here. Protects my risk, especially after taking an L earlier in the day. You don't want to lose twice, so moving to break even, definitely a good play to now have this risk free. Let's see if we can continue upwards. And I'm expecting price to fill this 1 hour imbalance. Let's see on the 4 hour if that's also imbalance. Yeah, this is also a 4 hour imbalance. So this is a great target we have right now. But personally, I'm just going to grab my 1-to-2 and get out if I can get it. Because after taking an L, really don't want to get greedy here. And if I pay for my loss before, I would still be up on the day with this 1-to-2. So yeah, let's just see if we got hit break even or take profit here. Looks like we might get hit break even. Price is pretty, yep, break even. So 1L, 1 break even. It is all good. We're going to throw this into the journal. Entry 2 confirmations here. I'll call this break even trade. Right here, rules followed. Yes. Fair value at fill. False breakout. Asia low. Break even. Break evens are wins, so they're really not L's if you take a break even. Especially if you put your stop a little bit above the entry. You don't lose anything, so mark that as break even. We went long here, followed our bias. That's very important. Mixed bullish bias. Day of the week, Tuesday. Entry time was 10 a.m. Same date. So yeah, that's pretty much day one. 1L, 1 break even. Not the best start, but it doesn't matter because we're here to gather data over the whole month and not just one day. So one losing day doesn't mean anything. If you guys have been trading for a while, you know that. You've learned from that. And yeah. So after these 2 trades, I'm calling it a day. I don't want to lose anymore. I want to protect capital. And I did that by moving stops to break even here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Those are my 2 trades for this backtesting session. I'm going to mark up. Where was our first trade here? Yeah. I'll mark out trade 1 and trade 2 just to have them here. So trade 1, stop loss hit, minus 1%. Trade 2, break even hit. Lost nothing there. So on the whole day, we're down 1%. That's pretty much the start to this backtesting of NASDAQ January 2023. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram yet, make sure to add me on that, guys. I'm gonna follow all you guys back. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to help me grow. I'm posting videos like this every single day. So if you guys learned something, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. And if you guys aren't in my Discord yet, 100% free. Grab yourself some free resources here. I got my own trading plan that I use. You can edit this and make it personalized to yourself and your strategy. But I also have my trading journal that I use. Make yourself a copy of this, use it for yourself. Tracks your win rate, break evens, all that. Your own setups, win rates, average profits, profitability, all of that. So hop in that Discord. Link is in my description. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.